where we focus on helping you claim what's rightfully yours, your health and your freedom. We explore the three main areas of health: the physical realm, the biochemical realm, and the mental and emotional realm. We also explore all the areas of lifestyle we can find that will help you live more abundantly, regardless of where you're starting. And remember, in life, you'll either make excuses or create results. You choose. I'm your host, Dr. Josh Hant, and I'm glad to be with you here today. Make sure to head on down to the show notes and click on the link to join our tribe of human-powered life heroes, where we'll update you on new shows, events, product launches, and so much more. Now, it's time to enjoy the show. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Human Powered Life Podcast. We have an amazing guest, and man, learning about this guy just in our pre-chat, holy crap, this guy is a superstar in the superhuman world, if you will. We're going to learn a lot more. This is Ari Tulla. Welcome, brother. Glad to have you on the show.
Hey, thank you so much. Great to be here.
Yeah, so let's dive right in. And I know you have a really cool background, really cool story, but we're definitely now focused in the health world. Can you give our audience a little bit of your background? Because we spoke about technology a little bit, and I wanted you to go from the past to the present, if you will, if you don't mind.
Yeah,
short
certainly.
version, right?
I'll keep it condensed. I'm a gamer turned entrepreneur turned health nut and health entrepreneur. I was super lucky in my youth. I'm actually sitting in my parents' home right now, traveling in Finland of all places. And when I was 14, 15 years old, I was one of the first people in the world to make money by playing video games. Talk about like mid-90s. Online games, the first ones that people were connected before we invented World Wide Web. And that was pretty cool upbringing because, you get to know the internet early on and you get to play the game when you are a kid. And I'm kind of one of the first digital natives. And because of my parents, what they did, I was super lucky to be able to connect early. And later I became an entrepreneur in college. My roommates founded a company when I was 19. Doing websites, talk about the Web 1.0. We were creating websites for big companies, the first ones they ever had. And then later I went into video gaming. I spent a lot of time at Nokia, running the game studios, app studios. Think about creating the first smartphone before iPhone and Android came into the scene. And you learn a lot when you are working in a company that kind of invented the mobile phone. And we basically invented the mobile gaming. And mobile gaming then was basically a few people playing Snake and whatever we played. And now mobile gaming is basically $90 billion industry, wow. 15, 20 years later. So it's insane, the growth. And now everybody plays mobile game. We have 3.5 billion people playing every day, which is pretty cool. Of course, also there's an addiction factor. Let's not talk about that today. But then we had a lot of health trauma in my family. My wife had a health scare 20 years ago. She had a thyroid tumor. We had to mitigate with that by using diet in the end to heal her body. We can talk about that more. But in the end, we finally got pregnant after 10 years of trying, and we got super unlucky. Our first son died. And that was the time when I decided to invest my next 30 years in health, build healthcare companies, invest in healthcare companies. And I'm on that journey. I'm on the company number 3 today. And it's been amazing to be able to create things that are really giving people a chance to be healthier, live better lives.
That's really cool. Because where we are today with your company, ELO, if I'm saying that correctly, I want you to talk a little bit about this because, I've interviewed and had lots of conversations from people on the nutritional side of the world, some people on the technological side of the world, which are starting to navigate, not the same, obviously, as you are, but they're all searching, right? They're all going forward because they've all had, and maybe an experience like you with your wife, a health scare, or they've had some kind of personal problem or health challenge in their life. And you're like, I'm making a turn. I have the resources now. I can make some changes. So can you talk to us a little bit about what is ELO? I mean, obviously I can read off the website, but I just want to read one thing off the website that I think is really, really cool. right on the homepage, it says our vision is to transform food from the cause of disease to medicine. And that's a very powerful, very short, very concise, specific statement. And I couldn't agree more. I think it's probably one of the leading causes of disease and breakdown, and I call it dis-ease, meaning like the pre-disease stuff. But we're all just wait. Like most people live in that continuum that's either like, okay, we're going to focus on it being either 100% healthy, which nobody really does, or death on this side. They kind of live like in this middle, constantly ticking on that like sickness, disease side. They never really get to experience any of it, like this really cool stuff. And then they just, they live to whatever age and they pass away. So talk to us about ELO and what it means and what it does and how people can actually utilize this to become healthier.
Yeah, thanks. For me, it really boils down to my past experience, and truly the food became medicine for me. And now I'm just watching outside. There are two kids playing in the pool, who are my son and daughter, and I have two kids, beautiful human beings that are here because of the ability of using food as medicine. For my wife. I mean, look, many of the autoimmune diseases are unknown unknowns. We don't know what to do about them. And we found a way to lower inflammation by using pretty much ketogenic diet 20 years ago. Nobody knew what keto means then. But one doctor told us to cut carbs, cut sugar, cut grains, and cut meat more or less. And that became the diet that we've been in for the last 20 years. And I'm performing now at the same level as I did perform as a pro athlete when I played hockey. And that's pretty amazing. I'm 44 years old. And my wife is super healthy ever since. So for me, it really boils down to the fact that I know and I've seen that food can be medicine. But at the same time, like you said, today we spend half the dollars or even more in the US, about 2 trillion, on managing diet-related chronic conditions. Think about type 2 diabetes, heart disease, hypertension, and so forth. So what happens and what happened in the past is that we invented foods that are not really food. They are addictive poison today. And we decided to deploy them in schools. And now we have the first generation of people that started to eat this non-food, this poison, basically, the ultra-processed food, since they were 5 years on. And those people are now becoming age of 30 and 40, and they are becoming sicker than the 60 and the 70-year-olds are today. So we are now finally seeing the outcomes of this. And there is a really, it's a very negative thing that we have going on in the society today, because it's not only the US, it's around the world. We've been exporting the diet even to Asian countries, and you can go anywhere in Africa and you can see the same things happen. And I'm not pointing fingers to certain companies or.
I pause you for a second. There's a reason we call it the SAD diet, right? It's SAD, the standard American diet. And we're pointing, like you said, we're pointing it everywhere. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but I thought that was just a perfect spot because it's so true.
We have been amazing at exporting it. Like, I mean, that's what we are good at in the US. We are so good at exporting not just a product, but an ideology, a way of living. And of course, we are bringing out and we are talking about things like individualism. We are talking about freedom, which are amazing things we should have more in the world. But at the same time, we have the sad SAD diet that we are killing now everybody around the world. But the bottom line is that it's good to understand kind of where we are coming from, because it takes about 25 to 30 years for you and me to get sick if we are eating this diet all the time. But the beautiful thing that very few people know is that it only takes 1 to 2 years to heal your body with the better diet. 1 to 2 years to heal the problem that you have caused in the 30 years of bad diet and mismanagement. So our body is very resilient, and we really are super organisms in a way that we can actually do that to ourselves. And like you said really well, you don't need to be perfect at what you do. Let's say if you have yardstick 0 to 100, that's where we can measure diet. most people today eat diet in the 30s and 40s. If you eat diet that would be 60% optimal for you, you will likely heal your body. You can even heal the chronic conditions you already have, or you can avoid them never happening to you before you are, very old, 70s, 80s, 90s. So that's the premise that we started to build the company for. And I've been thinking about this like 20 years. And I finally thought 2 years ago, before COVID hit, that now is the right time to start building a company around this. And really what we are focusing on is this common thing that I call fake news. So nutrition news is the original fake news. Think about this, 20, 30 years ago, bacon is bad, bacon is good. Eggs are bad, eggs are good. You never know. You open a different newspaper or a different website and you are completely confused. None of us really know what the hell should we do. It's just so confusing. So we're thinking like, could we build a system where we actually are bringing ability to measure? Because if you can measure something, you can improve it. And I'm not talking about measuring your weight or measuring your waist. That's looking like, my 1 month back in the rearview mirror. I'm talking about measuring things right now at this moment. And that's why at ELO we started to collect data from your biomarkers. Think about blood, from your wearable devices. Like I have an Apple Watch, an Ōura, a Whoop. Like link that data in real time into the system. And then of course have health questionnaires and have feedback loops like, am I feeling better this morning than I did yesterday? And collecting all that data and then using AI to create the right nutrition plan for you and not just give you recommendation, but actually deliver that plan to your kitchen counter easily. So you don't have to think about it and make it more automatic. That's what ELO really is. Taking the data from your body and turning that into tasty molecules that keep you healthy or even heal you in the long term.
That's absolutely phenomenal. So tell me this, you mentioned the Ōura ring. I'm wearing one. You're wearing one. You have the Apple Watch or the Whoop. I don't get that you actually like learning a little bit about yourself. I'm surprised you don't have some kind of some IV in this, checking your blood every few seconds here. Maybe soon.Maybe you'll create that next. But with ELO, with seeing these biomarkers, seeing these things, what biomarkers are you looking at? Are people, when they go and register, they go to the site, they learn more like, okay, I want to do this. I want to see where I am and how to get better. Well, just feel better or heal or both, right? Or even have better performance as an athlete. What kind of biomarkers? What are you getting data from those people?
I would love to test all the biomarkers that we can, but of course your limitations are the cost. And also because we are collecting now, we do at-home collection with a finger prick into a card that we created. And then you send it to our lab. We are testing the blood. Today we can do 13 biomarkers. We test kind of the same biomarkers that your concierge doctor would do if you do a venipuncture. We do lipid panel. Think about LDL, HDL, triglycerides, VLDL. We also are looking at your diabetes resistance by testing A1C. Are you pre-diabetic? Are you healthy? Are you diabetic? We also do some vitamins and minerals, vitamin B, vitamin D, ferritin for iron. We also do homocysteine for inflammation, because like you heard my story, I mean, my wife's problem was really all about inflammation. We tested her inflammation, I don't know, hundreds of times, and we finally were able to get it down. Inflammation in your body is one of the key culprits of becoming sick and creating a chronic condition. So those are the 13 biomarkers we do today. And our hope, and I'm not promising it right here, but our hope is to be able to expand the biomarker testing way beyond what we do today. There's a lot of really interesting innovation happening in the market, and we are tapping into many of the companies who are really in the bleeding edge of the innovation. Of course, as it's healthcare, we first need to validate everything. We need to make sure it's all FDA approved, it's all working properly before we take it to market. We don't want to do Theranos all over again. But luckily, you can have now at-home collected blood from the finger that is almost completely identical to your venipuncture that you get in your lab in your hospital.
That's great. That's great. And talking about like the technology, have you, you may have already, but have you started thinking about the people that have an Oura ring or the people that have a Whoop or the people that have, I think those are probably much more reliable. My guess, I don't know that maybe like even an Apple Watch, or I have a Garmin that I use for running, putting those in and seeing how like HRV, the heart rate variability, how sleep patterning and all those things will interact with the other biomarkers.
Yes. So today we only offer the product on the Apple platform. Why? Because we have ability to use the Apple Health today that is connecting to almost all the wearable devices. Even Whoop added it just a month ago. So now I think Fitbit is the only one who is not natively directly integrating to Apple Health. All the other devices, including your scales and everything else is. So we get that if you want, you can connect that data into Apple Health, and then you can allow ELO to read it. If you don't want to do it, totally fine. It's up to you.
Oh, that's great. So I didn't know that, because I'm an Apple guy as well, but I didn't realize you can connect the Ōura ring to Apple Health. Or no?
Yes, and not only that, of course, in this case, Apple Health is not doing really good work yet on HRV. So it takes them some time to kind of normalize all the sourcing and so forth. So HRV is probably coming maybe in a year. You don't get yet the glucose data. If you have a glucose monitor real time, you don't get it yet. But all those are happening because Apple is pretty good at building stuff every day, making it better and better. So not only that, but this is something that maybe will blow your mind a bit. You can also now take Apple Health and you can connect it to your Quest Labs or LabCore, or even your hospital health system. Like I have connected my LabCore Quest and also my Kaiser Permanente data, and that is all flowing now to Apple Health. And I then opened up to ELO. So in ELO app now, I can see last 10 years of my blood data, for example, from all different sources.
Okay, cool. So this is just going to be an evolution. This is not, we're not done. That's very cool.
One of the key problems, like healthcare has many problems, and I've been in healthcare for the last decade now working on this big enterprise place. But one of the key problems today is that you and me, we still don't own our own health data. It can sit in a paper in some cabinet, or it can sit in this silo. But now, in the last few years, we actually have now a law in place where if you are requesting your health data, the health system or the lab, they have to give it to you electronically. That's called FHIR APIs. And that's what Apple is using to connect to the Apple Health, all these different things. So it's a brand new thing.
Yeah, no, that's really great. So, so now we have the data, we have ELO collecting all of this data, putting, whatever the algorithms, the AI, all that stuff in. So you mentioned like now we can decide what we need to put in our body food wise. So is it recommending supplementation? Is it recommending actual, like, I don't have food in front of me, but like, is it recommending like, here's an apple, like you should buy an apple? Like how does it recommend nutrition or what? Hey, we're giving you a short break here where you can head down to the show notes or lifestylelocker.com and join our tribe of human-powered life heroes. You'll be the first to know about new shows, events, product launches, affiliate specials, and more. And now, back to the show.
Great question. So we are in the beginning, like we are on the page 1 of the book for ELO, and I think and everybody knows that this is very complicated. Like delivering groceries to you that would be custom to you automatically. Nobody has yet done that, and it's
I wouldn't think that far, but
I mean that's what I'm thinking every day. So we picked the first product, which basically is delivering supplements in a daily packet that come with your name, and they have the pills that are automatically optimized for your biomarkers and your health. And then we test every 90 days again the blood, and then we optimize the packets again and again and again. So it's just automatically optimized for you all the time. And we even take into consideration, like if you live in a northern hemisphere, we will add vitamin D in the winter automatically. So just keep you healthy automatically, so you don't have to think about it. And if you don't like something, you can talk to your coach. So we deployed a dietitian into the mix. So in the beginning of the program, you always connect with your coach over Zoom like this, and you get to know them. And then in the app, you can communicate with them every day if you want. You have a problem, you take a photo of a meal, you ask something about it. You take a photo of a product you are having and you ask about it. And that's a really good feedback loop as well. So the supplements are first. We have a couple more products coming out in the next coming weeks. I can't talk about them yet because a big one's coming, but it will be a product you're going to love as an athlete. The second one will be super cool.
Cool. Okay, great. So and the supplementation, is this something that you guys are actually working with other, I'm not going to ask the companies, but you're working with other companies? Or are you working with yourself? Like, okay, we're creating the supplements themselves. We're like mixing nutrients and shipping them out.
We are, of course, you have to kind of pick your swim lane when you build a company.
Of course.
And the core competence we have as a company is that we are trying to build the nutrition brain. We don't need to build the Apple Health again, but we want to get that data, and we want to be best in the world to taking that data and turning it into the nutrition plan, which we then can deliver. So we have spent a lot of time now to find the best partners for supplements.
Okay.
And they are now able to take about 100 different active ingredients. Think about like ashwagandha to green tea to NAD, whatever. And we can then pack them now into these daily packets, and we can ship them to you. We can optimize the dosing based on over 4,000 clinical trial papers that we have, fed into our AI. So if you have a study, if you think about like your low vitamin D, for example, we have now 250 studies that we are using to base the dosing for you specifically to build not only the pill, but build the program that you get into and how long you need to be on that program. So that's a pretty sophisticated system. Like it will take you maybe a year to read all the content and the material, if you even can find it today, because some of the studies are behind the paywall.
Yeah, and I let everybody know, like, this is really revolutionary, because in 2020, I went down as an athlete. I went to a nutrition company's scientific lab. So there's scientists everywhere. I went in, I did blood work in their place. They have their own blood lab inside their facility, so they don't farm anything out. So they're very quality control. I had to get do all of this crazy stuff, DEXA scans, all this stuff. And it would probably, my guess, the workup that I had was probably like maybe $10,000 or $15,000 worth of everything in a matter of 2 days. And you're essentially doing that, like mailing something to someone's home and then sending it. That's revolutionary. That's going to change a lot of things. I think even for maybe other nutrition companies and other groups or people that are going to look at you and go, we can bring an athlete in for 15 grand, or we can send this test to them and they don't even have to leave their home. That's pretty amazing.
ELO is $99 a month. And it includes the testing, the supplements, and the coaching. So it's a pretty good deal today. And I'm not saying that it will be always the price. I mean, today it's a pretty aggressive price we wanted to get out there to let people try it out, because we are not known quantity yet. We are a new player, new kid in town. So you want to give people an option to really learn. And we've been super lucky, because we have about 1,000 members now who've been going through this program. And many of them are sticking in the long term. We have first people have been with us for a year and a half already. And they like the convenience. They like the fact that, because think about this, 150 million Americans today, about half the people, eat supplements every day, pills. They take a pill and they just don't know if this pill is something they need. They don't know what's in the pill. They just don't know. I mean, we have 150 million people eating placebo every day. And with ELO now, as a probably first time, you actually now will know what you get and why do you get it, and you can see the outcomes. If the outcomes are not good, you're going to work with us to make them good. I'm not claiming that we are perfect. I'm just saying that you will know as much as we do know every day, and we are 100% transparent on everything. In the app, you can see every scientific research, literature. You can read it yourself if you want. Most people don't have the time. We have done it already, so you don't have to do it.
Yeah, and frankly, just so everybody knows, reading scientific literature is not very exciting unless you're a scientist. You know what? Like, I've looked at stuff over years. I'm like, thank God we have people that love this stuff, because for me personally, I'd rather see the conclusion, that last 3 paragraphs, the title and the conclusion. Everything else in between, to me, like, makes me want to cross my eyes. So If you are going to look at the research, everybody do check the conclusions out, because then you'll be like, oh, that's what this was all about. It'll make life a lot easier for you. So let's, this has been really good, really interesting. It's gone a lot cooler directions than I even thought it might. So let's just talk about, so we have ELO, we have the nutrition going out, we have, the blood testing. This is, and you're doing you said blood testing every 3 months is the target. So they at least have the time to be on the supplementation before you get more markers in, which is really, really cool, because I would have to travel down to North Carolina to do the same thing and spend 2 days of my life to do what you're doing potentially in, a short period of time. That's really, really cool. So let's do this, because I want to jump into the video portion in a minute. Where are the best places for people to find out more, to connect with you, to connect with ELO? Give us some details.
ELO Health, you can find us on elo.health website. You can sign up today at $99 a month. Only state we can't do blood testing yet is New York. We hope to open New York very soon. We might find a special way to get you in after the podcast. We can talk about it.
Exactly.
But New York has a very peculiar blood testing regulation.
I know.
The state knows that they want to change it, but it will take some time. So we are already approved, but we have to go through quite a few more hoops. Maybe end of the year we can open New York as well. You can also find us on the social elo.health on Instagram. You can find me wherever you go. Just Google Ari Tulla. I think I'm the only one with this name, so I'm the easiest guy to find out.
The only one, man. There may be another one somewhere.
They are not very active in the
exactly. Ari, this has been an absolute blast. Thank you so much for your time, energy, effort in making this world really a better place by going from gaming to transforming people's lives. And I think you're just hitting the tip of that iceberg right now. So I'm proud of you. I'm excited for you. I can't wait to see what is going to be happening in the very near future as exponential growth happens in the tech world, as I've seen. I'm very similar in age to you, so I've seen in my lifetime. So thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
Cool. Thank you.
Thank you for tuning into this episode of the Human Powered Life podcast. Make sure to head over to lifestylelocker.com to check out all the details on the show and to watch part 2 of this episode, which is only in video format. We also have this audio portion in video format if you want. Once again, I'm your host, Dr. Josh Hant, for the Human Powered Life podcast, and I'm looking forward to staying connected with you as a Human Powered Life hero. Remember to join the tribe, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.